What goes on, guys? We're back at it again with another custom figure review. And today I'm going to be showing you guys my new and finally completed Jet Jaguar. Now you're probably thinking, yo, Ant, that looks just like the Bandai one. Well, let me tell you, this guy can move around. This is not just the Bandai one. I based the figure off of that, and I put him in that pose that, the original figure only could swivel at the shoulders, the head, and the waist. But I went ahead and modified it so that it's pretty much fully articulated. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I had to do to make this figure possible. So as promised, this guy can move around. I went ahead, and it only took 2 figures to do this. So usually, it might take a couple figures, but it only took 2 figures to do this, and it only took me maybe 3 hours to do. I just put on some shows that I wanted to catch up on, and bada bing, bada bong, before I knew it, I was done. So all I did, the Bandai figure was hollow. So it was really easy to work with, and if you even without heating it up, you could probably cut it really easy, but I heated it up just to make it go smooth as butter through the plastic, and it really worked. Just a hair dryer, that's all I did. And I went ahead and cut it all up and all the joints. So I'm going to run through the articulation in the beginning of the video rather than the end, and then I'll go over my process as I go through the articulation and tell you what I did. So at the head's really easy. You just pop off the head off of the Bandai one, and it literally just pops on to this body. Now what the body is the Professor X from the House of X wave. At my local Target, it was on sale for $9.99. So I was like, you know what? I think that's the perfect body, and it was. Because you can kind of see the underlying parts of the figure, which are the Professor X parts, but since they're black, it really, really works, and I actually think it makes it look pretty awesome, like a kind of a modern version of Jet Jaguar, because I know in the original movie, I think he was in Godzilla vs. Megalon, if I'm not mistaken, but it makes him look a little bit more modern, and it kind of has a cool aesthetic. It almost reminds me of like Stormtrooper armor, how they have like that undercoat to them and then with the armor on top of them. But yeah, so the head really easy, just pops on. He'll be able to look up all the way, down all the way, swivel side to side, and you get good pivot too. So the head articulation is really awesome, and it looks really clean, no gappage, nothing. So then I went ahead, I really probably didn't have to, but I cut the upper torso in half so you can still get the crunch on there. And you get the crunch back. The pizza spider body mold is what this uses, and it's not that great to begin with, but obviously having the armor on here, or the body, whatever you want to call it, is going to hinder it a little bit more than what it could do, but I don't think it's that bad. So I cut along the bottom here, which looks really clean. On the top, the bottom, like the yellowy part, could use a little bit of work. The thing that you have to keep in mind too is the way that the Bandai figure was sculpted. It is like pre-posed, kind of like McFarlane style. So there are going to be like slight curvatures, but honestly, you can pose that away in pictures and stuff. I took a ton of pictures of this guy because I'm really proud of this piece. So please go check those out on my Instagram, but it doesn't look bad. At least not to me. Maybe I'm hyping myself up, but it doesn't look bad to me. The pre-post thing you can really work around. You still get the waist swivel at the torso. It doesn't go all, it can go all the way around. It'll stretch at the waist, as you can see. It'll be fine. You really don't need them turning around all the way anyway. So I cut at the pelvis piece, and then I just glued the pelvis piece on top of the pre-existing body mold. The back isn't super clean. I could probably clean up that line a little bit. I had to cut these in half to get on there. I cut the neck piece separate because I thought I would have to, but I kind of didn't have to. You can't really tell anyway because it goes in nice. It actually looks worse on camera, but it goes in nice anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But honestly, you really can't see that seam too bad on there, especially not here because I cut it along the side. You can actually barely see that. That's awesome. But for the arms were the hardest part of this guy. The head obviously just popped on. The body took maybe 10 minutes to do. I just put in, dabs of glue here and there just to keep everything in place. Now the shoulders are going to be able to go up pretty much all the way. About right there, so a little bit less than what they normally could do. I did the thing that Black Series does where they glue it at the bottom so that you can still get full range of motion. You do get a bicep swivel. I cut out the bicep of Jet Jaguar and it was hollow, so I kind of caved it out a little bit more, chimmed down the bicep on Professor X and stuck it through there, put a little bit of glue on there, and it looks good. Took the elbow pad off, made that a separate piece, glued it onto the pre-existing elbow. Both joints do not work because I had to cut it down a little bit, but honestly, you get pretty much full range. It's not much less than the pizza spider body mold because of the way that I had to cut the joint, so it works. I'm okay with that. I don't need him scratching his own back, so that's cool by me. Then I cut the forearm off of both of them and then connected them at the joint. And then I cut the front of the arm off like right here and glued that inside the Jet Jaguar piece of the forearm because that was hollow. And now he's got full range in the wrist. So that's awesome. And then obviously I left a little bit of a ball around the hinge and then glued it into this to get full range. And that's the same way on both sides. So that worked out awesome. I'm really happy with the way that turned out. And then I had to cave out the shoulders a little bit. You actually can still get the butterfly joints to work on both sides of the pizza spider body mold, which I think is crazy because I actually didn't plan on that working, but it does. And I'm happy to say that it does. The hips aren't going to be able to move out too much, but that's just due to the design of Jet Jaguar himself. They can still kick forward all the way, not a problem at all. Backwards all the way, so they can go all the way around like you would be on the pizza spider body mold. You can you get the thigh swivel in there. The thigh was hollow, so I just kind of slipped it over, put a little dab of glue, in the back, and that works really nice. And then the knees, I did the same exact thing I did on the elbows. I didn't even glue these ones. I kind of like them as a floating piece. It lets it move around and sit better. So that's awesome there. Then I trimmed down the calves a tad bit just to get these set. I wanted them centered with the points. So I centered them, slipped it over the calf, put a little bit of glue in the back, and they look fine. They worked right over it. Now on the bottom of the feet, there's like these rivets on Jet Jaguar's leg. I actually cut the bottom one off for a little bit more movement at the ankles, but you still get full range of movement at the ankles. You get a nice pivot, which is, it's crazy to think that I was able to do that. And basically all it was I took Xavier's foot, and this was a big boot. It's hollow, so I just slipped it through there, put a little bit of dab of glue in the front to keep them in there, and boom. The only problem is about this figure that I really can't change because it's the mold. This foot, when it was pre-sculpted, was like that. So it's pre-sculpted to be in that folded position. I kind of flattened it a little bit by putting the foot in there. It was like kind of like more like that when I first took them out, but I was able to fix it. It's not the worst. And honestly, in a lot of pictures, you can kind of use that to your advantage, or I guess to my advantage, but I'm okay with it. And I think I'm really proud of the way that this turned out. And I can't believe how quick I was able to do it, because usually it takes me a while to do some customs, but this one was really easy. But let's go ahead and take a look at him compared to some of my Godzilla figures. So here he is next to the Neca Godzilla vs. Biollante Godzilla, which is probably my favorite Godzilla design. I feel like it's one of the most iconic. I would have loved a Neca Biollante because I'm not paying $1,000 for the SH Monster Arts one. That figure is awesome, but I don't have that kind of money, so I'm not going to buy that. And then I have on my right, your left, the Neca King Kong. These are the only ones I'm going to take out right now because I don't feel like taking everybody out again after I just put everybody away after my SH Figuarts King Kong from Kong vs. Godzilla. I don't feel like taking everybody out again, but I feel like like I said at the beginning of the video, he was from Godzilla vs. Megalon. And they never gave us that Godzilla, if I'm not mistaken. If, in the comments, please let me know. I have a lot of Godzillas, but I don't think they ever made that one. I'm only missing the Godzilla that kind of looks more like a T-Rex. I forget that one, which one that is. And I'm missing the one where he has the tiny head. I would love both of those, but they're both kind of pricey now. But anyway, I'm rambling about toys that I want instead of the toys that I have. But I think that he looks really good next to these figures. I mean, the size was perfect of the Bandai figure. I just didn't like that he had barely any articulation. And not for nothing, you take that figure out of the box, it doesn't even stand on its own. Like, there's no articulation, but it doesn't stand. So I didn't understand that. That's always so annoying to me. But yeah, I think he works good. I mean, that Neca Kong's huge no matter what. But yeah, I think they all look really good together. So I'm happy to throw him in the display. So normally this is the part of the video where I ask you, you're probably wondering what I'm thinking. But I'm going to flip it around and ask you guys what you think about this. I worked pretty hard on this. Like I said, it didn't take that long. And I'm very happy with the turnout of it. I'm so happy to have a Jet Jaguar. I would love more Godzilla characters, but the SH Figuarts line is just too expensive for me. Like, I need to be on a budget with my collecting. You know, I'm going to school soon, so I need to be cautious of what I buy. And this was basically $30, $32, $33, because the Bandai Jet Jaguar was $12, and like I said, my local Target had the Xavier, Professor X, whatever you want to call him, on sale for $10. So I had this. I can afford $30 for a figure, especially one that nobody else has, as far as I know. I did this idea on my own. If there's somebody out there who has done it before, please send it to me. I would love to see it. I'm sure somebody out there has done it better than me. Mine is not perfect. I would like to clean up some edges and things like that. But long story short, I would love to hear what you guys think about it. Please let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see more pictures of this guy, I took a whole bunch of them on my Instagram of him fighting King Kong and Godzilla, and then some solo pictures. But anyway, guys, I would really appreciate some subscribers. I've been growing a little bit. I went from 0 subscribers to 15 subscribers in a matter of maybe a week and a half. So that's pretty cool in my eyes. Like I said in the beginning, or my last video, I think, my SH Monster Arts Kong video has almost 1,000 views at this point, and that blows my mind. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram, like the video, subscribe. But anyway, that's all I got for today. Peace.